Have you ever felt that burning sensation, that white-hot surge of anger that flares up from deep within, consuming your thoughts, tightening your muscles, and stealing your breath? You lash out. You speak words you regret, and in the aftermath, a bitter taste of exhaustion and self-reproach lingers. You feel violated, as if someone else has reached into your very core and ignited that destructive flame. For years, I lived in that cycle, a prisoner to my own volatile reactions, believing that the world and the people in it were actively making me angry. My name is Daniel, and my life, from the outside, seemed successful. A thriving career, a comfortable home, a busy social calendar, yet beneath the polished surface, I was a constant battlefield. A rude driver cutting me off in traffic could ruin my entire morning. A dismissive comment from a colleague could send me spiraling into resentment for hours. A spilled coffee, a delayed flight, a misunderstanding with a loved one, each was a trigger, pulling me into a maelstrom of frustration and fury. I genuinely believe that these external events and the people involved held the power to dictate my emotional state. They made me angry, I'd often declare, as if my emotions were a puppet on their strings. But the truth, which I slowly, painfully came to understand, was far more profound and liberating. No one can make you angry unless you allow them to. This realization didn't come easily. It was a journey sparked by a chance encounter, a quiet wisdom that began to chip away at the fortress of my reactivity. I met Noah in a small community garden, a place I'd started visiting in a desperate attempt to find some semblance of calm. He was an older man, with a face etched by time, and a gaze that held an unwavering serenity. Noah spent his days tending to his plot, his movements deliberate, his presence radiating a peace I could only dream of. One afternoon, I watched, aghast, as a group of boisterous children accidentally trampled a section of Noah's prize-winning roses. My own blood boiled. I was ready to storm over, to scold them, to demand an apology, but Noah simply sighed. A soft, almost imperceptible sound. Then he gently guided the children away, offering them a small watering can to help him tend to another patch. Later, as he carefully replanted the damaged roses, I couldn't hold back. "How can you be so calm?" I burst out, my voice still edged with my own lingering indignation. "They ruined your roses." I would have been furious. Noah looked at me, his eyes kind. "Daniel," he said softly, "the roses are just flowers. They can be replanted." And the children, they were just being children. If I allowed their actions to ignite anger within me, who would truly suffer? He paused, then continued, "Anger, my friend, is like holding a burning coal. You intend to throw it at someone. But who is burned first? The metaphor struck me with surprising force. Anger burns the one who holds it, not the one it's aimed at. How many times had I stewed in my own resentment, letting bitterness consume my day, my evening, my sleep? The person who had supposedly made me angry was likely oblivious, or had already moved on, while I was left scorched by my own internal fire. I had spent countless hours replaying arguments, imagining scathing comebacks, feeling my heart race and my stomach churn, all while the object of my anger went about their day, untouched by my turmoil. Noah was right. My anger was a self-inflicted wound. Over the following weeks, I sought out Noah, drawn to his quiet wisdom. He became my unwitting mentor, sharing simple truths that slowly began to dismantle my old ways of thinking. He taught me the profound difference between reacting and responding. When you react, Daniel, he explained, you are giving away your power. It's automatic, often unconscious, a surge of emotion that dictates your actions. But when you respond, you choose, you take a breath, you create a space between the trigger and your action, and you decide how to act. Daniel is true power. I started noticing this in my own life. A cutting remark from a colleague would usually trigger an immediate, sharp retort, a rush, a temporary satisfaction, followed by regret. But Noah's words lingered. Was I reacting or responding? More often than not, it was a reaction, a surrender of my inner peace to an external jab. I was allowing others to pull my strings, to steal my calm. Noah offered another analogy. Imagine someone offers you a cup of poison. Daniel, do you have to drink it? Of course not, I replied. Exactly. He nodded. Then why do you drink the poison of insults, of negativity, of others' bad moods? They may offer it, but you choose whether to internalize it. This was a revelation. I didn't have to drink the poison. I could observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass without letting it contaminate my inner space. The journey wasn't linear. There were days I faltered, a stressful week at work, a series of delays, and I found myself yelling at a customer service representative. That familiar rush of adrenaline. Later, alone, shame washed over me when emotions boil. You cannot reach peace. My mind had been a stormy sea, and in that chaos, clarity was impossible. But with each setback, I learned. When I felt the heat rising, the tightening in my chest, I paused, I breathed. I remembered Noah. Am I reacting or responding? Am I giving away my power? Am I drinking the poison? Slowly, imperceptibly, at first, things began to shift. The world didn't change. Traffic was still heavy. People still had their moments, but I was changing. One day, a project I'd poured weeks into was suddenly rejected. My impulse was to rage, but instead, they acknowledged the anger, and let it go. I chose peace, and in that moment, I understood true strength. True strength is not yelling back. It is maintaining peace when the world tries to shake you. When I stopped reacting, stillness settled within me. My mind, once turbulent, became calm, got clear. And in that stillness, I saw life differently. Problems became solvable. Relationships began to heal. I was no longer a victim. I was choosing. The greatest lesson Noah gave me was simple. You cannot control the world, but you can control your reaction to it. My journey continues, but it is no longer a battle. It is a practice. I am no longer Daniel, the angry, reactive man. I am Daniel, who understands that peace is power. And if I can find this peace, I believe anyone can, because the choice has always been yours. Asterisk, asterisk, if this story touched your heart, help spread the message. Like the video, share it immediately, and hit that subscribe button with the bell, so you don't miss the next inspiring lessons. See you again soon.